to the dark side. I'm sorry, guys. That was like a mix of Bane, like a sick Bane on like cough medicine with like some Darth Vader in there, but like none at all. I'm just gonna stop doing impressions. But hey there, guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with yet another one of my old movie reviews. Guys, in this video, I am going to be reviewing the second film in this trilogy that has been just recommended to me for no end. Like, I kid you not, I already reviewed the first film in this trilogy, and boy oh boy, like, I got like so many comments, people saying, Mike, thank God you've watched this, finally. So yes, I have watched the sequel to this first movie, and of course, guys, the film I'm going to be talking about in this video is Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. This is, yes guys, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, the sequel everybody loves and everybody talks about as being one of the best sequels of all time. I finally watched it. This is the second review in my series of Star Wars reviews. I also intend to get a review for Star Wars Return of the Jedi, guys, right after this, like probably like in 2 weeks or so. I am not going to be reviewing the prequels. Like, I'm going to watch them, but I don't have the time to review the prequels. Like, I have a whole schedule of movies I'm going to be watching and reviewing, and I just wanted to review the original trilogy. If you want to see my thoughts, though, on the prequels, I'll be doing Letterboxd reviews for them. Follow me on Letterboxd, by the way, if you guys don't, because I always post reviews for movies I may not review, like, do a video review for, so, like, just follow me that way. But, yes, guys, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back was released in 1980 and is highly regarded as one of the greatest sequels we've ever had in the history of cinema. Okay, it was directed by Irvin Kershner, not George Lucas this time, actually. I think Lucas just produced this movie, possibly co-wrote it too. But yeah, so like when Star Wars came out in '77, like, everybody was blown away. Like, that was a revolutionary sci-fi film. We all get it. It was Star Wars. Everybody lost their minds at how original and unique the concept of that movie was. And, you know, myself included. Like, I even, like, when I watched that movie, I acknowledge it for being the great film that it was. And just how it inspired several sci-fi movies we have nowadays. Like, we wouldn't have those movies without Star Wars. So naturally, I got excited to watch The Empire Strikes Back, which people say is even better than the first Star Wars. So that's insane. So, guys, let's get into the synopsis of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, otherwise known as Episode 5. But, guys, The Empire Strikes Back is set in about a couple years after the events of the first Star Wars. And we have our main heroes from the last movie, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, along with the rest of the Rebel Alliance. They are hidden somewhere on the planet of Hoth. This really icy, like, sort of like Antarctic sort of like planet. And they know that the Imperial forces, they are still out there somehow. They are going to stop by and attack, as we all know it. And of course, they are right. The Imperial Alliance is out there. The Empire, they are pissed after the destruction of the Death Star, and they want to get their revenge, basically. And who namely wants to get his revenge? Mr. Darth Vader. I mean, this guy is just like, he wants to get Luke. He wants to just crush this the Empire, the Rebel Alliance. Like, he's done with them. Okay, so they do find the planet of Hoth, and they arrive after a crazy, incredible battle sequence. Luke Skywalker escapes along with R2-D2, and he travels to become mastered or associated with being a Jedi. He goes to meet Master Yoda, who is going to train him to become a Jedi Knight so he can take down Darth Vader, as Obi-Wan Kenobi from the first Star Wars always envisioned him to do so. And, you know, then we have Han Solo taking Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and C-3PO on the Millennium Falcon, and they escape Darth Vader, just narrowly escape him as he is on their tail trying to hunt them down for the entire movie, still trying to get to Luke, because he knows that Luke, if he becomes a Jedi, is going to mean big business, and he's going to have to take care of Luke. And that, my friends, is the overall premise of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Now, as I sat down and got ready to watch this movie. I had extremely, extremely high hopes. And guys, after I watched the movie, were those high hopes met? Yes, they were. Okay, that was an attempt at a Chewbacca impression. I'm just gonna stop now. Yes, guys, I loved Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. This is just, like, this is everything a sequel should be. I said this, I believe, in my Terminator 2 review. Like, this is what a sequel should entail. Okay? In my opinion, and I've said this before, my definition of a sequel is a next installment in a film that should literally improve upon everything that made the first installment or the previous installment good. Like, and that means, like, the writing has to be a bit better, the conflicts have to be a bit better, the cast has to be crazier, the action, if it's an action movie, in this case, it's Star Wars, action, sci-fi, I want to see big sci-fi battles, I want to see all that, like, I just, that's what I want as a fan, and as a movie lover. I want to see, like, I don't know, like, especially for a sequel that was released 3 years after Star Wars, I wanted, like, a bigger set pieces, and overall, guys, with the release of The Empire Strikes Back, you can say that you got all of that, like, as an improvement over the first Star Wars, and that's ultimately why Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back worked for me as a sequel and as just a great movie, because that's essentially what it is. Now, what I love so much about the first Star Wars was how fun that movie was. Like, it's got just an incredible premise about a young man trying to discover something better for himself, and in the long run gets sidetracked and gets involved in this whole conflict between the villainous empire and the rebel alliance, and he's just in the middle, and we meet a trio of incredible characters who go on this incredible journey, and it's just an incredible finale. And The Empire Strikes Back takes those characters that we love so much from the first Star Wars and expands upon them, gives them new things to do, new challenges and new conflicts in this movie, including, in my opinion, one of the best movie antagonists we have ever had in Darth Vader. Like, we got plenty of Darth Vader in Star Wars, okay? He was great in that. It was a menacing, just, like he uses the Force, okay? He can choke you without touching you. It's the Force, and he's mastered it, and he's evil. He's the, like, capitulation of just how evil is, okay? That's Darth Vader. And he was so awesome with the first movie when he faced Obi-Wan and all of that. Like, that's just what we loved about the first movie. Then we take that villain who was defeated in the end of that movie, and he is out for blood. He wants to get Luke, but maybe he has a bigger purpose for Luke Skywalker, which is revealed in a freaking awesome twist that unfortunately has been spoiled by like for years. Like, everybody knew the famous line that is revealed in the climax of this movie. Everybody knows it, okay? Like, even if you have never heard of Star Wars before, you've seen it somewhere, spoiled in mass media and done in, like, parodies, okay? If you've seen Toy Story 2, you know what is gonna happen in this climax, okay? And that's unfortunately my fault, because I didn't see this movie in 1980 because I wasn't born yet. I'll blame my parents for that. No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, guys. Guys, I loved Empire Strikes Back, alright? It improved upon everything. I loved the whole different storylines in this movie. I love how we are focusing on Luke Skywalker undergoing his Jedi Knight training, and that was great. We introduced to an incredible new, just famous character in Yoda. But I love the other story, which was just about as equally as engaging as Luke's story. As Luke tries to master the Force and become a Jedi Knight, we get Han Solo and Princess Leia and their interesting, like, chemistry as Han Solo is just like that cocky, just perfect type of Harrison Ford. Like, it's just Harrison freaking Ford, and he's great. Okay, and he's trying to sort of, like, not put the moves on Leia, but he likes her, okay, and you got that whole relationship dynamic going on, and the fact that they're hiding from Darth Vader showing just by, like, just strangling a guy with the Force, okay, just showing how much of a badass and how just maniacal he is as a villain. It's just incredible. The other thing that worked really well with The Empire Strikes Back for me is that it was funny. Like, this is probably the funniest Star Wars movie that I've seen so far. Again, I've only seen the two. I'm watching the original trilogy before the prequels, like everyone told me, or else I would have gotten shot. But the movie's funny. Like, it took the humor that we loved so much from the first Star Wars, which, like, it was great. Like, the comedic pairing of R2-D2 and C-3PO, who is just comedic gold, in my opinion. Like, he's great in this movie. And when they're in the ship, no, not really, spoiler, and Leia shuts him off, that was great. Okay, when they were in the Millennium Falcon and, like, they're hiding and they shut him off, that was awesome. It was great. But, like, it's funny. Like, it made me laugh, it made me smile, at least. It's not only this epic sci-fi, just space adventure action movie with incredible conflicts and one of the best antagonists we've ever had in movie history. It's also a really funny movie, and that's what makes Star Wars stand out to me, in my opinion. I would talk performances. I'm not going to go in deep. Like, you guys know, like, it's Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher. They are excellent as our trio of characters that we have grown to know and love over these two movies, and they are so incredibly they're so involved and they have so much to deal with. I love how when we open on these characters, they are essentially not at the head of the rebels, but like Leia is, of course, she's the princess, but like they're so involved. Like Han Solo, like Luke is obviously going out there and looking for signs of the Empire to see if they're coming back. You know, Han Solo's running around trying to fix the Millennium Falcon with Chewie. I mean, it's just so great. The gunfights, the space gun battles are insane. Okay, the lightsaber battle in the final climax is just incredible. The action in general, I think they like upped the ante just a hair from the first one, and that was ultimately enough for me to say, yeah, that's freaking awesome. I can't believe what I'm watching. This is so great. I love how they have an opening action sequence 30 minutes into the movie. Immediately got me hooked into what was going on. I love the X fighter jets taking down the AT-AT walkers, okay, of the Imperial forces. I love those machines so much. Like, this movie showed me that they can still wow me with characters and new technology that they sort of introduce into this world and into this universe. The AT-AT walkers, the introduction of Yoda. I mean, that's all great in my opinion. That the writers, George Lucas, like, they still can give us these new, you know, scenarios, these new stories. They're still fun, they're entertaining to watch, they're exciting, they're taut at times, there's a twist here or there, but they introduce these new elements of this universe, you know, into the movie, and it just really, really works for me, in my opinion. They even, I think they even, like, I'm assuming they had a bigger budget for this movie because of how successful Star Wars was. You know, this is the sequel, of course. They're going to have a bigger budget. They're going to try to go bigger with this movie. Sorry, guys, the lighting, the sun's starting to go into the clouds. That really works. So the set pieces are even bigger this time around. We get to see a lot more of the Millennium Falcon flying through space. The whole asteroid chases, like, that is incredibly exciting to watch Han Solo maneuver through the asteroid belt. And I can't wait to see the Millennium Falcon in action in The Force Awakens. I love that shot in the trailer, by the way. It's just going off on a sidetrack. That it's just like maneuvering and that one guy is shooting at, firing at it. I don't know, I'm still learning of this universe, guys. But The Empire Strikes Back is everything you essentially want from a sequel, guys. The score by John Williams is back, and it's one of the best scores in movie history. It has one of the best themes in movie history. It's iconic, it's classic, and those are the two words to describe The Empire Strikes Back. This is a sequel that could have epically failed like 90% of the sequels we get nowadays. The characters could have been contrived, and they could have just like not been as exciting. They could have been given tasks of you know, that weren't as exciting as ultimately the first movie was, or their task in the first movie was. Don't get me wrong, this movie has its iconic moments, as does the first movie. Like, they're all iconic, all of these moments. Like, both movies are great movies, in my opinion. They stand out on their own. They're not just some boring space adventure. They're filled with character depth, and great conflicts between our protagonists and antagonists, which are the epitome of the definition of a protagonist and an antagonist from a movie. The protagonist, Luke Skywalker. The antagonist, Darth Vader. There you go. Just incredibly awe-inspiring lightsaber battles, action scenes, chase sequences, really well filmed as well. Like, George Lucas directed the last one, and he did a good job. Of course, Irvin Kershner, who I've never heard of before in my life, also did a very good job. Like, it looked like Lucas just got behind the camera and directed it. Like, I think he did a really good job making this movie not only look like the first Star Wars in terms of shots and all that, but, like, you know, it worked for me. The climax is incredibly exciting and hectic, just like it should be, even though you know the twist. But it's perfect because it makes our two of our main characters connected in a personal level, and it establishes an even bigger conflict when you have the antagonist trying to get the protagonist to join the dark side. It's just great, and when you find out how they are related to one another, it's one of the best payoffs in movie history, in my opinion, guys. Guys, there's not one moment where I did not feel bored in The Empire Strikes Back. I was riveted. I was excited. I felt just like I was smiling as I was watching this movie, because it's the highest level of pure entertainment that you can get for a movie like this. Like, it is cinematic entertainment at its near finest. I love everything about The Empire Strikes Back. If I could change one thing about this movie, I would say that I would have cut the film 5 minutes before they did. I think that we didn't need to see the last 5 minutes of this movie. I really think they could have just ended it in a different spot, because I would have loved to have just seen them pick up certain things in Return of the Jedi, in my opinion. So that's what I would have done with the movie. Other than that, it's a flawless movie, guys, okay? I don't know if I like this better than the first one, though. That's the only thing I'm conflicted on. Now, I know I'm going to get shot in the comments because everybody says it's better. But I just love both movies so much. Like, why can't we just have both? Like, why can't both be perfect, guys? Can't both be perfect? Alright, I'll let you guys know for sure, though, what I like better. But as of now, this is a perfect sequel. It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's engaging, it's everything you'd want a sequel to be. It wasn't disappointing in the slightest. It gives us these characters we love, this universe, yet again, expands upon it, gives us these interesting scenarios, and sets us up with an overall incredible ending apart from the final 5 minutes, to cap off this trilogy in what should be an excellent way. Like, I can't wait to see how they're going to end it. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back a solid grade, a perfect grade of a 10 out of 10, or an A+. Guys, I love The Empire Strikes Back. I cannot wait to watch Return of the Jedi. Not looking forward to the prequels, though. So, guys, what did you think of The Empire Strikes Back? Let me know down below in the comments. And thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.